everybody. You all know who I am. We introduced some of us, but we have to, for purposes of time, I want to get on with everything. This is the Momentum program, and this is a new program offered by RE/MAX. I had to go to school to do this for 3 full days. And basically what it is, it's a program that's been running very successfully in the United States. And it is a one-on-one coaching with each of the agents, and then after the initial one-on-one, putting groups of the same like people together, same production levels, and then trying to grow with the boot camps that they offer and the special training that they provide me to do. But what they do is they want me to do the boot camps because they think it's more effective for the broker to do it. So they, instead of giving a video, they want the trainings to be live, backed up with videos if you're going to do that. And there's 13 different categories to really expand your business. This is a different kind of approach for the for sale by owner. I've never seen it, and I think it's going to be extremely effective. A lot of people have been raving about it, and it's an approach more like, it's not a go out and list them approach, because anybody that has done for sale by owners knows that it's if you're not good at follow up and you're not good at going out and establishing relationships, it's probably not the area that you're going to be really good at. That's why with the Momentum, this is just an operational model. These are the areas that you get business from. And nobody has to do every single area. Yeah, why don't you just pass them around and then pass it back. Nobody has to do every single area in this business, but you need to pick and you need to have good systems in different areas of the business. So it's, everybody got one? Got it. So it's important, like with your network, to have, and when I'm going through this, a lot of people come to me and say, oh yeah, I have a network, I have things I do, but they don't really have a system of the network. All agents that are really highly productive, they have systems in every area. So what I'm teaching you in these areas is a full system. It's not going to be, it's from the thank you notes to from the follow-up, what you have to do every single day. So it's a lot more intense than just saying, okay, I'm going to have a work up for sale by owner. It's, a whole process of working up for sale by owner. And the same with the rest of them, from open houses to be more prepared and have systems in place, expires, for sale by owners, you're farming. And when you say to me, okay, I'm going to farm, a lot of agents are like, oh, I want to farm. But, when we are sitting down, I want a specific system. If you say that you're going to farm, I want to know how many houses, when they're going to be sent, what they're going to be sent, and also with your just listeds, just solds, what you're sending out, how you're producing it. I know Vicky's just working on one. So all of these things it's going to take a while. It's not something that you do in a day. But I want you to start to really think about what areas you want to put your systems in first and what areas that you want to start putting systems in place. If you have to think of this as a business as your business. So you wouldn't have, all businesses have, if they go in to train someone for the position, they have like an outline of what the position is. So I kind of want you guys to start thinking about that in your prospecting, on what kind of things I want to put in for my prospecting and exactly what exact systems to put behind that. So that's what I love about this, and yesterday I had rave reviews on it. They thought it was amazing. So we're going to start out with the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a test of confidence. So let's say we have 80 people in a room. 80 people that want to sell their houses. Now, you are put in that room by yourself with 80 people that want to sell. You have 20 minutes to talk to each and every person in that room. How many of the 80 do you think you can convince to give you a chance to sit down and talk to them about listing their property? And write it in. It's on the first page. Do you guys have any idea? Do you guys all following what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, you need a pen? Yes. Okay. Janet, can you bring me a pen in for Bryant?
Who needs a pen?
Thank you, madam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, out of that number, if you had no competition, how many of those that you got to go and give a presentation to do you think that would list with you? And of those, what percentage of those listings do you think would sell? So that would be the total of the number of transactions that you procured from the room. Now, what is your average gross closed commissions? So if you don't have an average right now, I would use $6,000. It's running about probably five if you're new. I mean, some people are going to be high, so some people are 10. So you see, this is what the importance of tracking numbers, so you can kind of see where your numbers are. So if you want to improve, you can really improve that way. So that would be your total gross commission income from this room. Now, is everybody following what I'm saying? Okay, good. So basically, what this little test is that if you can do this system and it's reduced to the ridiculous, that's how much money that you can make by just working this source. And I'm going to show you a great system how today. Now, was there anybody that doesn't understand anything on this? On how? Now, do you see? When you start in this business, you want to start right. So start tracking everything that you do. I know that I probably haven't harped on it as much as I should, because it's very important. Because when we're sitting down doing one-on-one training, I can ask you, okay, let me ask you, what is your gross commission dollars? Okay, it's $5,000. Well, what can we do this next year to get that up? See, you don't even have to sell any more homes a lot of times. You could just add in a few more higher end sales and a few other things that you can do to do more. You're welcome. So, anybody have any questions on this so far? Everybody good with that? Okay. The truth is that you never have to wake up in this business and wonder who needs your service, because there's for sale by owners everywhere, and it's basically the help wanted sign. So I don't want anybody to have to drive by a for sale by owner and not feel comfortable to be able to go and talk to them. The purpose of this course is to teach you a proactive approach to moving into a relationship with people who have indicated a definite need to sell their home. After this class, I hope that you feel confident enough to visit and follow up with for sale by owners and increase revenue. The plan. The plan is for you to take for sale by owners and add them into a new referral source, and you can get either a buyer or seller, and then you can put them into your client care center, and then you're going to be able to get yard signs, home ad calls, internet, and just listed calls. So what is this course? It is going to be a non-threatening 5-step follow-up program to work with for sale by owners, and it's going to add value to them, and it's going to give you the scripts, the plans, and all the materials that you're going to be provided to be able to do this. So this is basically the importance of tracking. You can see like the difference in the numbers on how many weeks that you're doing this, the new visits that you're going to have a week. He's recommended that you just see 2 for sale by owners. So if you talk about the room of 80, that would be 40 weeks of working. And then if you worked 40 weeks and you went to see 2 for sale by owners, that would be 80 people that you have approached. The set rate is 15, 25, and 33%, because the better you become, the more you do it, the better you become. How many total listings that you can get, the percentage of them that sell, which is very low, 50% is real bad. 75 to 95 is probably what you really need to be at, and total sold. So this is the know and do and have of FSBO visits. You're going to prospect, you're going to go to the FSBO, you're going to do the 5-step follow-up system. And what you're going to have to know about it is going to be the phone dialogues, viewing dialogues, closing dialogue, and follow-up dialogues. And what you're going to have is you're going to have to have a home base, an inventory sheet, clipboard and pen, an electronic tape measure, a seller's disclosure, FSBO follow-up pack, thank you notes, tracking sheets, and area map. 100% of FSBOs have an immediate desire to sell their home. This, coupled with the 6 possible income streams that come from for sale by owner relationships, make it the most dollar productive thing you can do in this industry. So let me talk to you a little bit about income streams. a lot of people think, oh, the for sale by owner, I don't want to approach them, they don't need me, there's nothing more than that. But there's all kinds of income streams that you can get with a for sale by owner. The first thing is you can sell their house to one of your buyers by knowing about it. The second thing you can do is you can take their listing by knowing and establishing a relationship. And you can work that FSBO as a buyer, because a lot of them want to stay locally or move up in the area. So getting to know them in a relationship will offer that. You can get a referral if they're moving out. We have RE/MAXs all over the world with the best agents in the world. So you can get a referral from moving a for sale by owner anywhere in the United States or the world. You can get a referral from a for sale by owner, meaning that you can get someone that looked at their house and they start to trust and like you, that they could be recommending you to, the people that they know, and start to move in that relationship. And you can provide a service for a fee. So a lot of agents offer that, like if you sell it yourself, you can pay me 1.5%, whatever you want to do. But a lot of people do that because in the end they know the chances of the for sale by owner, I've done hundreds of them over the years. I've offered that because it's something that makes them want to do it. Only once has anyone ever sold their house of all the ones that I've ever listed. So the chances of them selling their house for more than you can sell it is very slim. And most of them, once they list it with you, they don't even try anymore. They're already frustrated at that point. Does anybody have any questions up to this point? No? Okay, good. We're rolling through. Why would someone go to a FSBO? The answer is they want to save money. Everybody knows that if somebody's going to want to go to a FSBO, they're going to want to save money. What does a for sale by owner want to do? They want to save money. So tell me, how are two people saving the money? So in the end, it really isn't reality. So either the for sale by owner becomes lower, or the buyer is going to they're going to receive lower offers for a buyer. Because let's face it, the buyers have us to drive them around, give them all the comps, do everything for them. Why would they want to have to do that unless they want to save money or get a good deal? And in my experience, for sale by owners are usually overpriced. So that's another thing that you have to deal with. And we'll be doing that with another class, with the pricing class, which will bring that in, working on price. But you don't want to work on that with the for sale by owner until you have it listed. So let them be high, because it's going to make their lives harder to get a contract, and if they do, it will fall apart anyway. So then they'll become frustrated. So another reason why people do go for sale by owner is they've had a bad experience with a real estate agent. It happens all the time, where they've gone in and they have had somebody that just really didn't do a good job for them. A prime example is a lot of times it expired. They've been listed with an agent, they had no follow-up, so then they become now a for sale by owner. Even though they really didn't want to become a for sale by owner, they just don't trust us anymore because of that bad experience. So, and then another reason is just they could be buried underwater. They just may not think they have the equity. So then that's a short sale opportunity. So you can let them know, hey, we can actually get you out of this house with a short sale. So, and not everybody wants to do that, but there are other reasons why someone would go for sale by owner too. So, just so you know all of those. It's up to you over time to prove your value. So like I said, this is going to be moving into a relationship with them. It's a different system where you're going to go there a non-threatening way and be the person that you hope that they want to come to and eventually list with. Finding for sale by owners. There's multiple ways you can find for sale by owners. You can drive by, which this is what we recommend, is that you get a radius. They say like a 2-mile radius from in an area to start. And then you drive the streets and find for sale by owners. That's the way that they kind of want you to do this first. The people that do that, sometimes they don't even advertise on the internet. So they're the ones that are really prime. The ones and they're not going to get the calls. So when you're driving around, yeah, it takes a lot of time, but if I'm telling you to find 2 people, it's not a lot. 2 of them a week. 2, that's it. I'm not saying a day. 2 a week. What I recommended to the other classes, like the best days are going to be Sunday, if you're going to want to work, if you're working. To me, I wouldn't do it Sunday because I don't like to work on Sunday, but if you are working on Sunday, then that's a good day because they're doing open houses, so it's real easy for you to get in and non-threatening and just kind of talk to people. The only negative with that is that you can have some interference. But to me, Monday is the prime day. Reason being is on Friday, a for sale by owner, when you call them, it's the worst time to call them or anything. The best time is Monday and Tuesday because they've been frustrated over the weekend. Every for sale by owner thinks they're going to sell on Saturday and Sunday. They think they're going to have their open house. They think that that's the day they're going to be successful. So by the time Monday hits, another week gone by, frustration is setting in, and it sets in pretty quickly. If they tell you that they're going to be listing the house in 60 days, you cut that in half. Every time they tell you, whatever they tell you, it's half of that. If they say if they're going to go 3 months, figure out half of that. So anything that they're telling you, so you're going to be looking and following up in 3 weeks on that. So you want to kind of break everything in to 50%, and then you're going to be right there. That's the national statistic. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a drive-by plan. You're going to define your home base, which is going to be any area that you want to take listings in. And you're going to do a 2-mile radius, and you're going to start driving those streets. And then you're going to start to do it, and you're going to start moving out 4 miles, 6 miles from there. And then you're going to expand on that basis. Other ways that you can find them is Zillow, of course. They're all listed there, unfortunately. You can Google for sale by owners. You can get different sites there. You can look in the local newspapers. You can go to RedX. If anyone that doesn't know what the RedX is, it costs money. It's about $100, $110 a month. And what that does is it pulls up all the for sale by owners and expireds and just mails them to you every day. So if you want to invest, that's where you would, put some money if you're doing this. It's going to be expensive if you're not. Other than that, we have Craigslist and team members of 2-tier and above. That's basically meaning that like somebody that has a bunch of team members, they might delegate them to go find that. People with the trash service and mail carriers, if you know any of those, to write the addresses down, or anybody else that might be out in the area. Your success with for sale by owners will go directly related to your willingness to be productively active and to follow up. Everything with for sale by owners is follow-up. If you are not good at it, this is probably one of the areas of the business I would not focus in. Because I'm telling you right now, the chances of going out to get a listing with a for sale by owner with that you haven't established a relationship, because you're going to have somebody else that probably is going to do this, and they're going to get that established. For them to just get a call out of the blue, and you just get to go over and list it, that does happen. It happens and it's great, but the chances, people that are for sale by owners usually take a little bit more, but usually if you go in and have a good relationship, it doesn't take long for them to want to be with you and to be listed with you. So this is going to be the 5-step follow-up system we're going to put in place. We're going to take the FSBO, we're going to visit the FSBO with the inventory sheet and the seller's disclosure. Then step 2, we're going to hand deliver part 1 of the booklets that I have. You're going to hand deliver part 2 of the FSBO Guide Money, and the first one's 100 Ways to Sell Your Home. Then you're going to hand deliver part 3, which is going to be the FSBO Guide Checklists, and then you're going to go back and see, we're going to follow up with phone calls. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take these guys, which I'm going to give you now, that this is going to be, it's going to be 100 Ways to Sell Your House, then we're going to do the follow up with the money, and then it's going to be this one, that checklist right here. So this is the order that you'll be giving them out in the system. So you're going to be doing that. So you guys can kind of pass these around here. Just take one of these, and then I'll just pass around the next one. So that's the first one. Then the second one is going to be the follow-up money, and then the third one will be this. So that's what you're going to drop them. Of course, you're not going to drop it with the momentum on there. This is meant to be like a guide. You can cut, paste, put your packages together, use the information in the guide to put together what you're going to be dropping them. And now, if it goes past, now this is going to bring you to 5 weeks of follow-up, which is going to be done on a weekly basis and be done at the door. So that's why you want to be close to a home base for the system to work. So
like you drop off one first.
Yep. The first one you're going to go with, you're just going to give a seller's disclosure, and I'm going to give you an inventory sheet, and I'm going to explain to you exactly how you're going to get in. And then after you've done that, that's why driving around, you have to find them driving around. If anybody's nervous about doing this, my suggestion is, in the other class, people are pairing up to go together. So if it's something that's going to make you nervous, go with someone a couple times. Because I'm telling you, it's not as bad as, some people are like nervous about doing it. When you've done it a couple times, you're gonna be like, wow, this is really easy. It's kind of crazy. Because, you know, it's just the fear at first. But once you've gone to a couple doors, get a part. If you want to find somebody to go with, you know, talk to each other. My suggestion is that I was very lucky because, that's it. I was very lucky because when I got into the business, this is the third one. I started with my mother. So, you know, when you have two people, you're a lot braver. So, and we used to, actually I used to do it with my brother and with Jen, when we first started years and years ago, before I owned the company, over 20 years ago, we used to go together. And then one of us would go to the door. But we didn't even have the system, but one of us would go to the door to see if they could get us in. It was like, we made it fun. So you got to make these things fun, and then you get confidence. That's how I got confidence that you don't have the fear anymore. And I think fear is the biggest problem that agents fail is because they have fear. So that's why it's always great, like if you could partner up and do stuff, like whether it be out hanging things in neighborhoods, I mean do things that are proactive when you have a lot of time, because that'll change. So and then when you have no more money, you know, when you have money, when you start to do deals, you can start investing more with mailings.
Repeated, because you gave her a whole package.
Yeah, I think you repeated it. I was gonna give it back to you after this.
Yeah, no, because I don't know if you need that for you to continue, that's
I
why I'm
have one
asking.
of these already. We need another one.
Oh, you have two of them? Does anybody else need the follow-up checklist for the follow-up FSBO follow-up checklist? Okay, get it.
Can we download this from the site, the website?
I'm going to actually have all of these online in app files.
Oh, okay, good.
The whole end of training manuals, I'm going to have every single training manual as I do them.
Okay, great.
Okay? And then also, too, you guys can pass these around. This is basically what the next classes that I'm going to do after this one. So, and I just wish you guys would check and see which classes that you want while we're working. And then pass these back to me, because these are the ones I want to do first. The reason why out of the 13 I picked this one is because I think that everybody needs a little boost start, and I think this is a really good way to get business now. So I wanted to start with that and more of the prospecting things. The other ones are excellent too, but building teams isn't something that probably most of the agents need in here. So I wanted to start with the most logical ones to make money first, and things that are going to get you guys excel the quickest. So, okay, so now so this is basically what we're going to do, the 5-step follow-up system that we're going to put in place. Now, if it goes over 5 weeks, now you have to realize that most people don't last that long. And you think that they would, but they don't. So, my suggestion is come up with some ideas. You can drop a contract, an as-is contract. Oh, I just thought you might want a copy of the as-is contract. Keep dropping them. You're talking about a few people. I mean, you're going to end up having a little bit more if you're doing 2 a week, because you may have like 4 then that you're working in a couple weeks. Then you may have 6. But even with 6, if you dedicate this to your morning on Monday, it's easy. You know, I mean, it's not going to be a lot to do. Don't complicate it. Don't say, I want to do 10. I want to make it better. That's the biggest failure too, is like cutting off more than you can chew. Do a little steps. Do 2. If you want to do more afterwards, get 2 done a week. It's simple. You know you can do it. 2 next week, you're going to end up with 4. 2 next week, you're going to end up with 6. So then you're going to have to be following up on these things, and you're going to have to go, when you're doing the 2 new ones, you're going to have to go drop to the other 2 old ones. And you can even leave things on that you need to follow up with a phone call. These have to be contacts once a week. You can't just say, oh, I dropped a letter. That isn't the program. It doesn't work. You got to follow up with a phone call. So you're either going to go to the door or follow up with a phone call. So let's go to the next step. Every time you get face-to-face with the FSBO, like I just said, you got to give them an item of value. That's going to be something that's going to help them to sell themselves or help them move, or something that they're going to appreciate that you're giving them. And it's just a normal thing in life that if you give to someone, they feel like they need to give back. It's just normal. So, I mean, not everybody's like that, but I mean, a lot of people are. I mean, they just feel like, hey, if you keep giving and they keep getting things from you, they feel like if they're going to do something, they're going to want to do something to someone that's done something for them. It's normal human nature. So the importance of follow-up. The 50% of your competition will quit after week 1, because if they can't just go list it, they're not going to follow up. 75% after 2. 90 is going to quit after 3. And then you're going to be all by yourself after week 4, because most people don't know what to say anymore. Honestly, that's the problem. They just like kind of like, what do I say now? But I'm going to give you the best script that I think that is awesome. So anyway, so this is what you're going to do. Once you find the for sale by owner, and how you're going to go up there and approach them, is you're going to knock on their door, and you're going to say, hi, my name is Susie, I'm with RE/MAX, and I noticed that your home is for sale, and would you mind if I came in and viewed it and took some room measurements so I can add it on my for sale by owner inventory? So at that point, there's going to be 3 things that they can say. So your goal is, the reason why you want to get in there is you want to, I mean, I used to do this a lot with the room measurements. I got away from it, but it's a really good time, and people like that you do that. So I don't know if you guys have zappers or what kind of, you probably should get the zapper room ones. They're easy. I don't know how much they cost now. I don't know if anybody knows, but they just digital. You just hit them on the wall and it gives the measurements. But you can go in and do that and give them the clipboard and have them, which is going to be right here. Next. There's a clipboard. They're going to show you exactly what the inventory list is going to be. It's going to be a 1-page form, and then so you're going to have that for all your listings. So you're going to have all the room measurements, all information about the house, and you're going to just put all your notes right on that 1-page form. So once you've seen the house, you pretty much have all the information. If you want to even make it more like a drama show, take some pictures. And to me, after all these years, the biggest rapport I get with people is when they're showing me their house. Because I just think that that's where the strongest part of the, if you're a really good agent, I think that that's where the stronghold comes in your presentation. Like you're go around the house. Some agents want them to sit with, I like them coming. Because I want to point things out. Like if I see a hole in the ceiling or a discoloration, I'm going to say, oh, what happened there? You know, I mean, I'm just going to ask them, has it been fixed? You know, just so they know that people are going to notice this. Buyers are going to notice this. I'm not going to give them a lot of staging or things to do, but I will go through and I'll compliment things that I think that they've done nice and it will help it sell and say, oh, I love the bathroom, what a great choice and a vanity. But you want it to be truthful. You don't want to just come out with stuff that's crazy. And then you can kind of just look at things when they're like, you know, give it a little bit of a face if it's not perfect. So, you know, that will come in time, but so it's as simple as that. So all you're going to do is ask them to add to the, you're not looking for a listing or anything like that. So the first thing, there's going to be 3 answers that they can say, is what is that? And then you're going to come up with you're going to read and memorize the script. But I have a process that I use with all my buyers, and we uncover the criteria for their perfect home. I then take the criteria and match the home in MLS into my for sale by owner inventory list. So I want my buyers to be able to not only get the house they want, but want the house they get. So what do you say? Would you like to be on my preferred focus group? So word that whatever you want. Basically, if you want, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with that, just make the wording similar. That I have an inventory sheet. I match with the MLS or my inventory sheet because I want to provide my buyers the best information of every property that's out there. So then they're going to say, do you have buyers? You have any buyers now? The worst thing you can say is yes. You don't say yes. You say, of course, I have buyers all the time. Buyers call on a daily basis. But what I do is I don't just bring them to every single property. I want to make sure, because I go into what they want in depth, that I want to make sure, because we talk about room size and everything else, I like to get the measurements and have the information and some pictures so I can kind of go over the properties with them before we just go out and look at properties to see if it's going to match what they're looking for. So, I mean, that makes perfect sense. But you never promise a buyer, because, or if you promise to get into a listing with a buyer, that you have buyers, it never works. Because if you don't have a lot of, like if you don't have, it's for you to have specifically buyers for their house, it's going to be rare. So you're going to get in from false pretenses, and it's hard whenever you lie to someone or not tell the full truth to turn it around. So you're going to just say, you're going to tell the truth, which is we get buyer calls every single day, and I like to have the an inventory list of all the for sale by owners as well as our MLS, which has all the listings on it. And then the other thing is they're going to say is we don't want to work with a realtor. Now that's where you don't flinch, because you know that commercial, they don't let them see you sweat. You never argue with people. The biggest thing you can do is get on your hard horse and have an attitude, because that's what a lot of realtors do, like, oh, okay, or something like that. That's a beautiful thing that they don't work with realtors, because you know what? That's going to get rid of most of the realtors. So you're going to go back there, and you're going to know in a week their attitude is going to start to change. Because when they haven't sold it, realtors are going to become their friends, and they're going to be now giving you the script, I'll pay 3%. Because where they come up with that, if you do a lot of for sale by owner prospecting, you'll know that all of the for sale by owners have the script, oh yeah, I'll pay you 3%, because they know that's the co-broke. So that's the way that they kind of answer you. So now you're only 3% away. So that's the good thing. That's what you have to think. Now if they're not paying realtors at all, now you're 6% away. So if they're saying, okay, no, you're going to say, no problem, I'm not looking to list your home today. I was wondering if I had somebody, if you know, that you would let me take a look at the house, and I'll bring them to you, and A lot of my buyers are under contract, so they'll pay my commission if a for sale by owner won't. So you'll tell them that. And then hopefully if that doesn't work, then you just say, here's a seller's disclosure. Why don't you, do you have one of these so you can give this to the buyers that are walking through? And it's required to disclose any latent defects or problems with your property. I'll give you this, and good luck to you. Go. That doesn't mean you're not, that to me, when you get an objection like that, it's the best person. Because they're going to kick most of the agents to the curb. So you're still going to go back and ask if anything's changed. And we're going to have that in the next thing. If the guy's a real jerk, you may not want to, but I find a lot of jerks end up being nice. So it really depends. Like, it depends on the person. Like, I could take a lot of abuse. I've been told everything. I mean, from the F word to, I mean, and called stupid. I mean, whatever. See, it bounces off me because it gets me, every time I get told something like that, usually the next call I have is going to be a yes. So that's how I look at it. So the initial step now, if the seller says no, you can't come in, you're going to give them the disclosure like we said, and here's my card, and if there's anything I can help you with, don't hesitate to call. And like they said, believe it or not, your goal was accomplished for that meeting. If you prefer to do it over the phone, you're going to do the same thing. And you're just going to ask them, you're just going to ask them if you can add them to your for sale by owner inventory list. And if they say, I mean, that's a real simple call. I think the door is way more effective. It's harder to say no. But if you wanted to do the phone calls and just go out and get appointments like this for the initial, you could always do that, like from Zillow, or if it's a gated community you can't get in, or condos that you can't do it to. Things like that. If you want to make a phone call, you can just call them and just say, hey, this is Suzanne with Remax. I was wondering if I could add you to my for sale by owner inventory list. And they're going to ask one of the three things. What is that? The same thing. So it's going to have the same three things. What is that? Do you have any buyers now? And we don't want to work with realtors. Those are the three answers. It's far more easier, like I said, for the FSBO to reject you on the telephone. So now, you're going to find with for sale by owners, most of them will pay 3% or cooperate in some form. Some of them can tell you 1%, some can tell you some ridiculous thing. But again, don't let that bother you or stop you. Just listen and go. And I'll explain how we can work back on that later. But what you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to start you're going to have the inventory sheet. You're not going to spend a lot of time. You're not going to try to close them for a listing. This is to begin a relationship. This is for them to meet you and have a chance because they're going to be finding a realtor. 90% of them do. They're going to be looking to get a realtor. So you want to be that realtor. So what you're going to do, you're going to go in. You're going to give them the measurement. Actually, I'm going to change here. Oh, I thought it was sooner. Okay. Once you're in here, I'm just going to come back to here. This is where you're going to be filling out your inventory sheet. So see how it is? It's just very simple. It's going to give the square footage, the year built, the lot. You can ask them all these things when you're in there, exactly what your taxes are, what year was the house built. It's minimum, and this is where you're going to do your measurements. I think the measurements are the prime key because it gives you time in the house. So it's going to give you that little extra time you need to get that rapport going. And when you're doing that, what you need to do is you need to find